Hello friends, today in this tutorial we will be building this user management CRUD kind of an application where you will be storing the name, age, country, and we will be displaying the results inside the table. So we will be storing all the results in a PostgreSQL database, and we will be using the Pug template engine, which is inside Node.js and Express. So will be a complete application. We will build out the REST API, and then we will build out this CRUD application inside. So this is actual demo here. As I load the application, no records are present right here. And we have this interface which I developed inside Tailwind CSS. So quite a number of technologies we are using for building this web application. And we are managing our PostgreSQL database using pgadmin. This is a special piece of software which allows you to manage your database, similar to exam control panel for SQL and MongoDB. So we have already created this database which is userdb, and inside this we have an actual table created which is sample table. So if I show you basically the column here, so these are the actual columns are there. ID is the primary key, name, age, country, and these are the timestamp which is record created and updated at. So these are actual column names here, and now if I try to enter some things here, so if I click add user, basically you will see the user will be added. If I refresh the page, the data will stay on the page because it is stored inside database. And let's suppose if I write a SQL query here, which is select star from the table name here. Table name is sample table. And if I execute this query here, you will see, let me put the table name and put a semicolon after the line here. If I execute, you will basically see the data which is coming here, which is ID, which is automatically incremented because it's the primary key of the table. So we did not have to specify. And this is the name submitted. This is age. This is country. This is the timestamp value which is there. So one record is inserted in the database. So similarly, we can add some more records out there. So you can see that. So we have two buttons out there, either to delete this record or update the record. So if I click the delete button, automatically the request will be made in the background and the record will be deleted and the UI will be updated instantly. And if I now check the database, you will see only one record available. So again, if I refresh, now you will see two records are there in the database. And we can even click the update button. So if you want to change this information, change the name to any other name and click on update user. So you will basically see the information will be updated and in the UI, and if you just refresh the page, the information will stay updated. And if you now cross check the database, execute the query, you will basically see the data has been successfully updated and you will see that. So we will try to build this application from scratch, guys, and let me show you the technologies we are using for building this. So as I already told you, we are building it inside Express, which will be used to actually make the web server. So Express is a framework in Node.js to actually make the web server. So almost 28 million downloads are there. And then we are using PUG, which is Pug template engine, which is used to construct the HTML code here. So we can embed dynamic. It is also called as Jade as well. And this is their official website. We will be using this, and then we are using PostgreSQL database. So just type on Google and the very first result which come, it's a open source database similar to MongoDB or MySQL, and you just need to download this inside your computer. It's available for Linux, Mac, Windows. So depending upon your operating system, you can download. I've already downloaded it, and one little piece of software you can download, which is pgadmin, which is useful to manage this database. Just type pgadmin and just download this software as well. Exe file, just install it, simply click download, and Depending upon that, just download this inside your computer and just launch this. So just click Windows and it is available. So I've already downloaded this. So basically it will be pgadmin 4. So now in the next set of tutorials, we will show you guys how to construct this application. And if you need the full source code guys of this application, you can directly purchase the full source code. The links are given in the description. You can go to PayPal or Stripe and you can check out the full directory structure if you face any sort of problem. And I will see you in the next section when developing this project. Now guys, we will start building this application. So I am there inside my project directory and I will make a new folder here. I will call this as node user CRUD and I will go into this directory, node user CRUD, and open it inside the VS Code. So the very first thing you need to do, we need to construct a empty package.json file. So npm init-y. So after that we need to install the packages. So we will need Express, we need pug template engine, and then we need the Sequelize. So I forgot to tell you guys, for Sequelize is basically a wrapper for interacting with different kinds of databases, MySQL, MongoDB, or in this case PostgreSQL. So if you type here Sequelize, it's kind of a ORM for specifically Node.js and TypeScript applications for interacting with the databases, and we can automatically create tables, specify the schema. It is similar to Mongoose. Mongoose is similar, specific for MongoDB, but Sequelize, you can use Sequelize for any sort of database. It can be MySQL, MariaDB, SQLite, SQL Server, Oracle, PostgreSQL, all these databases. So the command is simple, just it has a Node.js package. So these three packages we are using: Express, Pug, and Sequelize. Simply enter it and it will install these packages. And once installed, it will have inside your dependencies section. And now you just need to construct your index.js file. So here we will actually start the Express server. So we will import all the packages. So let Express, we just need to require the Express, and then we also need to require the Pug template engine. So require it, and then we will construct a new Express app, and we will start listening this on port number 3000, and in the callback function we will have a console log statement that app is listening on port 3000. And after this guys, we just need to create some files here. So just create a lib folder, lib. You can call this anything, and here we will actually store the DB connection code. We will connect to our PostgreSQL database. Inside my pgadmin, basically I have this database already created. Let me show you how to create one by simply deleting it. So you just need to write inside your, just right here inside there is will have option here to create database. So you just need to right click here, just right click here and create database, and you can call your database anything. Let me call it user CRUD, and then click on save. It will create your database, which is user CRUD, and that's all that you need to do right here. After that, now inside our code we now can automatically create tables by specifying the schema. For that, first of all, we do need to connect to the database. So for that we will actually use Sequelize, and we will require this package at the top, Sequelize, and it does contain a method which is, you will instantiate a new instance of it, and here you need to provide your database. So in this case, which is user CRUD, this is our database name, and the second option it takes is the username. So the default username for PostgreSQL database is post GRES. If you haven't created a custom username, if you have created them, then put that name here. And then the password, my password is no password, so I will put empty. If you have a password, then you can specify it. And then we have some options. First is the host option. In this case is localhost. And then dialect, it will be the same name, Postgres. And that's all. You just need to export this method, module exports, and Sequelize. So this is actual code here for the connection. And now to connect to the database, we just need to require this file here. So we can say const Sequelize. You can call this anything. I'm just calling it variable name. So .lib/db connection. And now it contains a method to authenticate. And this is really important. We need to authenticate to actually connect to the database. This returns a promise, and right here we can console log a message that connected to database. So if you try to now launch this application in the console and try to look whether we are connecting or not, you will see basically a message will be printed out. It is node user CRUD, and it is saying that please install PG package manually. Okay, I think PostgreSQL it required this package as well. So one other additional package we need to install, guys, which is a official client for the PostgreSQL client database. So this is PG. You need to install this package as well. So npm i pg, and just require this package npm i pg. So just require this package as well. So once again, if you do this, so now you will basically see, guys, connected to database is printed out, and we are successfully now connected to database. You need not have to require this module which we installed, which is PG. You just need to install that. So this is the PG module, and Sequelize. Sequelize is dependent upon this module. That's why we need to install this parent module. And after we are connected to the database, guys, we can actually now create a model. Model is something we will need to store it in a separate folder. Models in programming refers to the schema. So whatever information you need to store inside our table, we will specify this. So I will call this as user, because we are developing user management CRUD kind of application. So that's why I will call this as. So after this, we will now extract data types from Sequelize. So it contains a method to specify the schema. So we will require it from Sequelize, and then Sequelize, we need to require this connection. So .lib.db connection. So that's why I written this code in a separate file, because we require this code in multiple files, so we need not have to repeat this. And now we will create our model. So Sequelize, it contains a method for defining the schema. So this here you need to provide your table name. So let me call this table as sample table. So whenever the table will be created, guys, it will be created in, it will add a S right here at the ends. The table will be sample tables. So whatever you provide here, it will add S to it. And in the options here, whatever fields you need to add, we need the ID field. So this ID field will be of type integer. So data types, and it contains array, big int, blob, boolean, all sort of data types are there. So we will select here integer, and primary key is an option as well. So ID will be the primary key. Auto increment will be true, so automatically it will be incremented whenever you insert records. And then the second column will be name, and this type will be of character. So this will be of type string, and there is this option constraint that you add, allow null. So user can't provide empty value. So this constraint meant by this, and then the age value. So age will be again an integer. So here the type will be again data types dot integer, and again allow null will be false. So user must provide the value. And lastly, we have the country column, and type here will be again string, and allow null again to false. And two more columns guys which are necessary, which is timestamp whenever the record is created. So these are not mandatory, but in the convention we do need to provide that just to be safe. The default value you can also give. So data types, it will take the current time whenever the record is created. And also the second one is updated. So whenever the record is updated, this value will be there. Type again, it will be of date, allow null will be false, and the default value it takes whenever the record is created. So it will take the current date at time. This is your schema guys. It contains 5 columns: ID, name, age, country, and created at, so I think it's 6 columns. So now we just need to export this also, module.exports user. That's all. So now inside our index.js, we can actually use this model file that we created. Right here at the top, we can import this, and here let me see. Okay, we need to synchronize our models as well. So this is really useful guys. If you have provided a schema, you can actually call this async function which is offered by Sequelize. You can have a try catch block here. If you don't write this code, your models will not be created, your tables will not be created. So Sequelize contains this method to synchronize all the models that you have created. And here we can console log a line at all models is created. So if you execute this, your table will be created. So it is saying that missing catch. So we haven't provided the catch. So catch, if any sort of error take place, you can console log it. And then you need to call this. So it's an anonymous function. The syntax of it like this. So it is saying something has gone wrong. Let me see. Oh, sorry, put a semicolon right here. Semicolon is necessary, guys, whenever you do this. Okay, I think we also Sequelize. Okay, put a semicolon here also, guys, and now you can see that. So just put a semicolon at the end here, and the problem will be fixed. And also put a semicolon here also. So now if you see the message, guys, basically connected to database, all models is created. And if you check your PG admin, and inside here this user CRUD database, if you go to your you just need to refresh here and go to schemas. I think, yeah, in the public section you will find your tables. So when you insert the data, guys, then our table will be created. So we need to first of all insert some data as well. So then our tables will be created. So now what we need to do is that we need to create a views directory, and inside this we will create a index.pug pug template engine. It's an extension of this file pug, And right here, we also need to set the view engine as well. App.set view engine. In this case, we are using PUG, Pug Template Engine. We are requiring it at the top. And then we also need to make a separate folder for all the routes that we will be using. So simply make routes, and I will call this as user router.js. So here we will specify all the routes related to the CRUD app. So now we will be writing this hopefully in the next section. Let me just show you the syntax of this Pug template engine. So as you just write here, this is a very simple syntax of writing Pug template engine. It's very different from HTML. You provide the tag name, in this case is h1, and followed by the content, which is hello world. If you just want to see this result on the screen, so we can basically have a app.getRoute whenever you open the home route, request response, and here we will simply render out. So we will use render and specify the template. It will automatically detect in the views directory and it will load the template. If you just refresh now, it is saying cannot read properties of undefined index.js. Okay, sorry, we need to. So now you can see, if you refresh, go to localhost 3000, you will see hello world is printed out. So this is the actual syntax, guys, of Pug template engine. It's very easy to write as compared to HTML. We don't need to close the tag. We can simply write another heading, which is the h2 tag. If you just refresh now, you can see that. So the length of the code is very much minimized. You don't need to repeatedly close the tags. It's a very simple template engine, and we will be using it. So we will be making the interface in the next section, guys. So now, guys, in this section we will start building the UI of the application. So inside our index.pug file, we'll start writing our pug template engine code. So we will provide the doc type HTML. Here we will provide the language, which is English. You can see how easy it is to write this as compared to HTML. We basically give the title, so user management, and then we will include the script CDN for Tailwind. So this is an external URL. So inside double quotes, we'll provide the address of the Tailwind library, tailwindcss.com. So we can use the custom classes. So inside body, we will provide these classes: bgcray 100, flex, justify, center, and item center, just to make the UI in the right in the center of the screen, horizontal screen. That's all. So after this, we will have a div section. So formatting is very much important inside Pug template engine. So we are giving some these spaces out there, which means that this div is the parent element of body and head is the parent element of HTML. So we need not have to close these tags. So that's the advantage of using Pug. And then we will now be giving classes, which is max width, Excel, W full. These are all Tailwind classes, guys. You can read more about the Tailwind in the documentation. And to round it, large dash LG. And we need also a shadow large, shadow LG. And also we need padding 8. And after this, inside this we will have an h1 tag and dot text to Excel and foot bold MB4, and the text will be user management. So just make sure whenever you are giving the text, just have some space here. If you just refresh here, you will actually see this card like structure which is having tailwind CSS, and this is appearing here. And now what we need to do is that after this h1 tag we will have a simple form. So this form will actually be, so right here form, and the action will actually go to /add. We will make the post request, so put a comma. The method here will be post, and the class we will give it as mb8. All the source code is given, guys. You can purchase it. The links are given in the description of the video if you face any sort of problem. Flex wrap mx2 mb4, and inside this we'll specify the input type is equal to text. We'll give it a name attribute which is name, and placeholder will be enter name, and these are actual classes we will give to this element, which is the same classes: the border gray 400, border rounded medium, and px padding from the x direction, and padding py2, and width will be full. So if you just refresh now, this will be the input field here. You will see that. So you can basically find out this code, guys. The links are given. It's not the video about pug, so I will simply paste this. You will actually get this here. So if you basically see here, if I refresh now, this is the interface. Here we can write name, age, country, and then inside the table like structure we will basically show it. And I will not be having this, which is the table. I will simply delete that. So for now we will have a simple form where we write name, age, country. So here you can see basically we are making a post request to this route /add. Whenever you submit this data, which is name, age, country, we have a button here of submit, which is having this. And now you need to go to your first of all your index.js file, and we need to give some headers right here, which is app.use express.json. So these are body pass and middlewares. We need to include this while we are working with forms. Express.url encoded extended to false, and now this is the user router file, and inside this we will define all the routes which are necessary. So we will need to first of all import express, and then we will import the router, which is express.router, and here you will say we will require this model file which is present inside --models.user. This is necessary, and we will declare a variable u which will be empty array. For now we will be storing all the users which are present in the database inside this variable. Currently it is empty, and now we will have a request for getting all the users from db. We will assign this router.get and slash. So whenever someone goes to the home page of the application, we will display all the users in the table. apart from the form. So inside try catch block, basically we will actually fetch all the users. So if any sort of error take place, we can console log error message. So right here, we will simply await. We will say user dot find all. So this contains find all method, guys, which will actually find all the users, and then it will return it as a promise. We will console log it, and we can equal to u is equal to users. So the variable that we created, we are storing this inside a global variable, which is u, which inside it. And now we just need to re-render the template response.render, which is index. We will pass this information to the template. So users, that's all. So right here, if you see, we can remove this request from here. Now to use this file user router that we define in the routes folder, we can basically import it at the top. If you just type it, Visual Studio Code automatically will give you. If you just type here app.get slash user router, or what I called it, sorry, we need to export this file as well. So we can call this as module.exports. Module.exports, we can call this as router. So we can say router. We are exporting this router. Now to include this router, we can simply say it will be imported. You will see that. So this router will be imported, user router. We can call this as user router and then simply pass it here. So when someone visits the home page, we are redirecting it to the like this. So that's all that you need to do in the index.js. And if you try to open this application now, so nothing will happen because no records are present. If you check your PG admin, if you just refresh now, user CRUD, this is actual database here. And go to your public and go to tables. You will see one table has been successfully created, sample tables. If you see, and if I show you the columns here, which is ID, name, age, country, created at, updated at. So inside this, if you want to, you can select here query to, and here we can write SQL statement as well. So select star from the table name, in this case is sample tables, put a semicolon and run the query here. You will basically see no records are present right here. You can see that. So nothing is present. That's why you are seeing an empty screen. So if I now try to insert one, nothing will happen because we haven't written that request. So cannot post /add. So we need to define that request. So inside our user router file, and to do this, we will simply do router post. So here router.post, and we will call this as /add, and this will be a async function, request response, and inside your try catch block we will do this process. And inside this we will basically pass name, age, country, and we will extract this information from the request.body header. Because we already included these two middlewares, which are body parser express JSON and express URL encoded, that's why we can use this line, which is request.body. After this, we can call await user model. It contains a method to create the record. We will pass this information inside curly brackets, name, age, country. ID will automatically gets create it, increment it, and then we will redirect the page response or redirect. That's all. So this is the code, guys, and if you try to now add a name here, let's suppose this is in number, so 25, country, it's suppose India. Click on add user, and I think you do need to refresh your application. Oh, sorry, let me see, guys, what is the problem here. Router.post. Just wait, guys, let me see what is the problem. Oh, sorry, I made a very fatal mistake, guys. So this needs to be a middleware, not a post request. So app.use. So just make it inside your index.js app.use. It's not a, it's, we are passing a middleware. Whenever someone goes to the home page, we are passing it to this middleware, which is an app user router, and then it will go into this file and make this post request. So just refresh and click add user. Nothing happens here, but if you check the database, one record will be added. If you refresh now and again request, and you will see one entry has been added. You will see that, guys. Age, country India. So in this way you can add as many records as well. So again refresh, query it, and you will see the second record added. Now we just need to display these records on the screen. It's very simple to actually display it. We just need to make a get request to fetch all the records and then display it inside the pub template. We will do it in the next section. Hello guys, now we will be actually be showing the all the data inside the table. When you load the page, something like this. So at the end of this section we will basically show this information: name, age, country, and the actions. So currently there are two records available, so that's why it is printing out. So let's start building how we can do that. So we will actually now delete this code here and start from scratch. So inside your index.pug file, guys, so if you open your user router file, whenever we fetch all the records, we return this get request. So we use this function of Sequelize, which find all the records in the table and return it inside the promise. We are passing this whole user array as an argument to this template. So now inside index.pug we will simply loop through all the users and display it inside the table like structure. For doing this, right here we will have a table here, and this table will have a width of full, border, collapse. So these are all tailwind classes: border, gray 200, and then it will have a table head tr, and this table headings will be border gray 200 px-4 py-2, and this first will be name. So similarly we will repeat this two more times. So this will be age, country, and this will be actions, what actions you need to perform, delete or update, and then it's over. We will have table body tag, and inside this we will have if condition that if the users are present, in that case we just need to loop through the users. So each user in users. Syntax is very important. It's conditional statement here. So it will run only if the users are passed to it and it is exist. And then this is each for each loop here. It will repeat every time whenever there is some user inside this users array. So tr, and formatting is important. Whenever the This is a child element of this, so that's why we are written like this. So border gray 200 px dash 4 py dash 2 is equal to, and then is equal to is very important, guys, because we are now embedding a variable. That's why we have put equal to sign. It's a pug template engine syntax. So here we will embed the name of the user.name. So we will do the same thing. We will simply copy the syntax, age, country, and then the actions. So this will be user age, user country. So if you just refresh now, basically, you will basically three columns will be there. It will be printed out the, and now inside the actions tab, we just need two buttons out there to actually either delete or update. So for those two buttons, we will have another td tag here. Inside this, we will have a actual form. The action will go to here slash delete slash, we will actually pass the id of the user.id, and here the method here will be get, comma style dot display inline, and then after inside this form we will have this button of delete, button type submit. You will just notice a little bit tricky this pug template engine, but still if you practice you can just it's very easy to write as compared to HTML. Text would be white color, px2 py-1 rounded dash medium, and margin from the right is 2, and this will be the delete button. So if you just refresh now, there will be a delete button added. So you can see that. So, oh, sorry, just remove that. So delete button is added, and in the same way, we will have our the update button as well. So we will simply paste it here. Just change it to update. Okay. Just repeat this line here. This will be update. So there will be two buttons, delete, update, and you can basically change the color of this button, or you can simply say here anchor tag href, and this will actually go to slash update followed by the id, which is user.id class, and here we can provide the class which is bggreen 500. Text will be again white color, px2 py-1, and it will be rounded, and the text will be update. You see here, I'm not good at writing HTML code, guys, that's why you are seeing some errors. So what I will do is that I will paste this. All the source code is given, guys. You can directly check out. Just put tab here like this. Just refresh now, and I think you will basically see a delete button and update button, and Now the task is to, whenever we click the delete button, we need to create this get route, and we need to pass this query parameter. We are passing it, which is the ID of the /2. So we, based upon this ID, we need to delete this record from the database. So how we can do that? The user router, open this file, and here we can actually write a simple route. So we can simply make a router dot get /delete /_id. This will be query parameter, and based upon this ID we can actually delete. So again we will use try catch, and this Sequelize contains a method. After you get the ID by request params.id, we can actually get the user by using user.find by primary key. PK stands for primary key, and here we'll provide the primary key, which is user ID. After this, we will actually destroy or delete this user. So we can simply say user.destroy. So it will actually delete it from the database, and then we need to redirect the user to the home page. That's all, very simple. And delete operation is very much simple. Click on delete, so it will be deleted and you will not see. If you also check the database, only one record will be present, that is removed. So if you do this also, so no record is present. And now we can add records, delete records, display all the records. And in the last section, guys, we will see how to actually update a record. So once we click the update button, we need to change the value. We will write this request and show a update form. So in the last section. Now guys, we will actually handle the update process, how to update a particular user whenever you click the update button. And this is slightly tricky portion, guys. That's why I'm covering it in the last section. So first of all, we need to go to user_router.js file, and we need to write this request. Whenever we click the update button, as you can see, we are making a get request, and we are passing the primary key here at the last here. And now based upon this, we need to find out which user is this. So we can write a request here, router.get /update followed by the parameter, which is ID. Again, it will be a async function. And here we will actually find out whose record is this. So inside your try catch block, we will find out, first of all, the capture the user ID using request.params.id. So this will actually get it from the URL. After that, we will actually find out this user, which is updated user, and await. And again, we'll use this method find by primary key, and we will pass this ID, which is user ID. And then we will read-enter this template, which is index, the home page template. And this time we will pass three things. First, we will pass the actual users. We are basically storing this inside this u variable. If you see, we are basically storing it inside the u variable. U is equal to users. So this is a global variable, so that's why we can use this. So we will actually pass the number of users. Users is equal to u, and then the current user, which is found out, which is the updated user, and a special property, which is a boolean parameter, which is update, and we will set it to true. And whenever we open the home page, we will set it to false. So conditionally, we will show the update form. So whenever we open the application for the very first time, this boolean parameter will be false, but when we click the update button, this will change from false to true. And now we need to make some changes in the index.pug file, and we need to add a if condition here inside the form. So based upon this, right after this, we will add a if condition here. If update is present and it's true, in that case we will basically just copy this whole section and paste it here, and we will add a else block here. If the value of update is false, in that case we need to show this form. So indentation is important, so just make sure. And here this will be update user, not add user. And then here we will basically have the form, which will be go to backtick symbol. Let me use it, slash update slash followed by the currently logged in user. So this is user.id, whichever the user is selected by the user. So user.id. So this property we are passing it, you will see that user. We're actually getting the ID here, and we will be populating the values of that user by giving a value parameter, which is user.name, put a comma here, value user.age. So this will be a number field, that's why I just change it to number. Age is a number. So then this will be user.country. That's all. This is the changes you need to make, guys. If the update value is true, then we will show the update form. If it is false, then we will show the add user form. So just refresh now, you will basically see this update here, and currently you will see basically two things are present. If I inspect element here, just click delete here, just delete all the records and start from scratch. And if I see nothing, no records are present here, and if I try to add some records, so you can see one record is added. And if I click update, you will now see already this populates the values here. If I change the age here to 67 and click on update user, so you will basically see now it says cannot post. We need to make this post request to actually update the details. So we just need to go to our user router.js file, and at last we just need to make this post request. So router.post slash, so in the backtick symbol, update, this is a parameter that we will be passing, async function request response try catch block. And right here we will extract the user ID, which is from request params.id. Same process. We will now be extracting it from the body header request.body. So we will be finding it by the primary key, passing it, and based upon that we will update this. So we have this method which is user.update, and we will pass these details, name, age, country. That's all. After that we just need to redirect the user to the home page. So this is user.update, sorry, user.update. That's all that you need to do, guys. And if you just refresh here, continue, and let's suppose I want to change the name here. to any other name. Click on update user. You can see that the name is changed here. If I want to change this name to update, you can see the name is changed here. So you can delete records as well. You can add some new records. This is a user management CRUD kind of an application that guys we have developed using PostgreSQL database inside Node.js and Express. And we have used the Sequelize wrapper to actually interact with it. If you want the full source code, you can go to the description of the video to actually purchase the full source code from PayPal or Stripe in USD or Indian rupees. Both the payment links are given, and please hit that like button, subscribe the channel, and I will be seeing you in the next video.